Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be doing some more Zen practice for the upcoming Artians. No new changes to the list today. I think I'm just kind of trying to practice this list, but I think I am thinking of a couple changes, mainly like cutting these weakest links for maybe like +1 Flick Flack, +1 Tiger Eye Reflex. Just to have like a little nice kind of defensive package on the board. I did actually get Burdens of the Past to do something, by the way. I was playing against a Verdance, and I did manage to basically hit like a root bound or two in hand, and that kind of won me the game. So I'm still leaving this card in the deck for now. I still need to practice against Enigmas, but getting Enigma practice is somewhat difficult for me, so might not happen. But I think this card is pretty solid there, and again, low opportunity cost of the blue 3 block, so I think it remains in the deck for now, although it's a little bit memey, I think. I think I've probably played like 20 or 30 games since I put this in my deck, and it's only come up in like one game. So definitely a very kind of niche card. Yeah, but overall, still liking the list. It seems pretty solid. A lot of Tiger Gen, a lot of combo cards. It feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and just get in some games. All right, so we got the Zen Mirror. We always want to go second in Zen Mirror, and then let's grab our board. So we do have the weakest links, which I think you do generally want to run into Zen. We cut our Growls, we cut our Hunger Winds. I think we want to leave the Burdens in the past in the deck, though. And then what else can we cut here? We definitely want to trim on some stuff. I'll give him a good luck, have fun. We kind of like wins and maybe it's kind of wins, a breed, and a mauling. Kind of seems like good vibes at least. Yeah, let's try something like this. See how it goes. All right, Chi in the opening hand is excellent. We also have Flick Flack, which is very good at blocking Zen, so pretty happy with this opening hand. Curious to see if our opponent gives us filtering here. If they don't give us filtering, it's like still pretty fine. But I think that this matchup is definitely uh, very filter. Like the person who basically draws more transcendent cards typically wins this matchup. So the better you are at kind of like filtering your hands and stuff, the more likely you are to draw into Chi, which means you're more likely to kind of win the game. It seems like our opponent's also fat decking slightly, going to like 62 cards or something. Interesting. Normally I try to cut down to like a clean 60 into Zen, just because it is kind of a race to find transcend stuff. All right, but we have the Flick here, which is covering this Kakara breakpoint quite nicely. All right, into 100 wins. Yeah, sure, I'll bite. We'll keep blocking. If we get punished by weakest link, it's whatever. All right, Winds of Eternity. I think you can go ahead and have your Chi back in the deck. Or you can go ahead and have 100 wins back in the deck. I don't think that's too impactful. But we will actually get the opportunity to kind of stir here once the combat chain closes. I didn't want to let them leave the combat chain open in case they have path will travel. Well, we got our first Chi flipped, which is very solid. Okay, and that's why we wanted to flip Chi as opposed to holding it, because we kind of drew an all red hand here, but it's still not terrible. So it seems a little bit weird, but we probably are just going to get another Tiger Swipe. Because we can do Tiger Swipe, Aspect, Tiger Swipe. That kind of plays, and then we get to Arsenal CNC. CNC is not like the best Arsenal in the world, but it's probably fine. Now we do have our Traverse online first, which is also quite important when we're trying to block Disruption here. All right, so they hit with the Tiger, so the Aspect is a little bit redundant, but go ahead and still just play it out for three damage is 3 damage, right? All right, get them to functionally 28, depending on how they block, but then we get to Arsenal CNC, which hopefully will be pretty good next turn. I've been kind of off of Winds of Eternity lately too. I feel like I've just been maybe breaking with it more than I've been using it, but it's definitely kind of on the chopping block for me at least. All right, it seems like they block with maybe a redundant Breed Anger, which is fine. All right, this is definitely annoying. Yeah, it's pretty good CNC here, honestly. But we can just send our own good CNC back at them, and that's kind of fine. Yeah, it's probably just the play, right? All right, go ahead and send in our own CNC, see how they like it. All right, seems like they also like blocking 6, which is fine by me. All right, go ahead and get to Arsenal or Sync. And we got a nice hand here, although, okay. We're basically just trading CNCs at this point, which is kind of funny, but honestly, like, maybe it's now kind of the opportunity to just go for something. Like, we could just block with, like, Traverse, do this, and then, like, YOLO the Harmony, use Preserve for pitch, and then just play everything out. Kind of fine with that. They also haven't seen a Transcend card, so it's, like, kind of fine. Or at least they haven't seen a Transcend card to my knowledge. All right, so we are YOLOing this? Yes, we are YOLOing this. All right, YOLO successful. Let's grab Swipe back in the deck is probably fine. We could have also grabbed CNC or something there, but probably comparable. I think I just saw 2 swipes, so I kind of defaulted to maybe grabbing a swipe, but maybe like actually putting a CNC is maybe more impactful. All right, let's grab our aspect. And obviously Disgusting kind of hit off the Ancestral Harmony here. The sync blow has been a little bit unfortunate for us, but they also had like I think 2 CNCs in a row, which is pretty good for them. All right, so opponent is running Wax On in the mirror, which is something I think I'm happier to see than anything. Like I don't think this card's actually all that good in the mirror, but it might be good if they line it up with the Wax Off. Time will tell. All right, they do have the Wax Off, sure. So I don't even think this is that bad. Obviously, it makes our Mauling Key worse, but like our Mauling Key was free anyways. So I don't think this matters a ton. See if T can get a Zen State counter going for them. Like maybe I don't know how much value this is getting, but I think it's like 4 or 5 right now, which is I guess pretty good. But like you're basically having to run like 2 kind of like below rate reacts in this matchup, which makes it more awkward. All right, underwinds for 1, so most likely Transcend from them. Sure. Not the end of the world here. All right, it looks like they're going to give us an opportunity here to just block out, which I'm kind of fine with. Probably do want to try to use this Sync Below if we can. So it means they probably have Aspect and Arsenal, or they just want to pop their paws. I think both of which are fine by me. So let's go ahead and react this. I think we'll try to get rid of our blue Hunter Winds, although it could maybe bite us, but we still have Pouncing Paws, so like Rain is still alive. Okay, Flick Flack's fine. Alright, so they did have an Aspect in Arsenal. So we're kind of just incentivized here to block out. So they're going to do 3, then 3. I guess what do I want to be doing on my turn? Probably just want to Arsenal Grain. In which case, we're probably just blocking 3 here and then sending like 2 plus there. So we're sending 4 damage, or we're blocking 3, sending 2. Which is better? I guess it's 5. I guess it's better if we block, right? I think it's better if we block. Because I think we either have the choice of, if we keep the Breeding, we can either send 4 and take... We send 4 and take 5, or something like that. I don't know. My brain is kind of hurting. All right. Yeah, block like this. You said one. I don't know. It's pretty similar, if anything. I think. All right, they're popping their traverse. I'm a-okay with that. Sounds good. All right, Arsenal of Grain, pass back. I think on a nice little levels turn, but we should have our own kind of nice little levels turn to hopefully follow that up. Still got a pretty big life differential here. They do have tempo for what it's worth, but like, I don't know how much damage they're going to realistically be able to push here. I mean, it probably gets down to like 20 something, especially if they get like a chase or whatever. But we're probably kind of okay with this. I think we're pretty much just going to no blocks everything and then, okay, what are we doing? Yeah, I think our plan here is to just no blocks and then try to vomit our hand back at them. All right, we're getting a swipe here. What does that tell us? So they chose not to get a chase the tail. Kind of signals to me that they maybe have a CNC. Potentially. Kind of depends on what cards are in hand. We're kind of like pretty okay with the CNC though. Block 6 and then send our own CNC. Yeah, sequencing is definitely interesting here. I don't think we're blocking Tiger Swipe at all. No Kakara is also... My CNC senses are kind of tingling here. Alright, so they got 2 Tigers now. Still feels like a CNC. And then they just Arsenal whatever the other card is. Alright, Mauling Key. Sure. So now we just don't even care, right? Yep. So we'll go down to 18. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's go ahead and have our own little levels turn here. We can probably get a chase the tail here if we want to kind of be aggressive. Might be fine. Gain a resource, activate Zen. I think we will just go for a chase here. A little bit of risk using our pouncing paws, but I think I'm kind of at the point in the game where I'm maybe okay to take a little bit of risk to push some damage. All right, let's draw go. Draw Tiger Eye, which is decent arsenal, or decent for pitching the E-Strike. Okay, they have Wax Off plus Transcend maybe here somewhere. Sure, Wax Off plus Transcend. Seems pretty alright. So maybe we want to save the E-Strike now, or save the CNC now instead. All right, so here's kind of an interesting trick that we can do with Chase the Tail. So let's not Kakara, but we're gonna get Kakara eventually, but let's start with the 0-cost Tiger. So one thing that we can do to play around Zen State is not Kakaraing early. We can instead Kakara later, and it turns out to be a little bit better. So now there's Zen State's getting like 3-ish value or whatever. But I think that's still fine by us. And then let's Kakara pop pause, send E-Strike. Could also just send CNC and then Arsenal or keep E-Strike to keep up the pressure. I think they're both reasonable. So my logic for sending CNC instead is because like I want to have a source to go again. Like I think the way that we lose this game is like by bricking. So maybe I don't want to risk losing the game. So maybe I just send CNC instead. I was thinking about arsenaling it originally, but I think that like our lose condition is if we send Kakara plus CNC and then like we have like 2 other reacts in hand or whatever. Like I don't know. Maybe that's like the one way we can realistically lose this game. Feels like we're pretty ahead on resources here at least. All right, excellent hand. So this is not a brick hand. Now we just gotta figure out how to kind of push as much damage as possible here. So I think, okay, so we can incant Kakara, do that, do that. Kind of works, but then we're not getting E-strike value. It's a little bit awkward. You can also play E-strike, aspect pouncing key. That sends 3 damage, or that lets the Zen State eat 3 damage. And then we Arsenal Path, and we're probably still in a good spot. So let's go ahead and do that, I think. So you can do 5, 3, 4, Arsenal this. It's effectively 4, 2, 3, but it's still enough to like pressure them. So they'll have to give us a card here or Shuko. I think they have to give us a card. I don't think Shuko's enough. Like if I math this correctly. We're in a pretty good spot here. Right, so they'll give us Shuko, but I think they still. Oh no, they don't have to give us another card here. We could actually force a card out of them if we wanted to Kakara, but I guess it's a little bit late for that. Yeah, okay, they could have given a Shuko and then lived. Yeah, that makes sense. For some reason, I thought we were dealing 1 more damage somewhere. I mean, we could realistically like send in Kakara at them and just force a card out of hand. I don't know if that would be wrong, but Path Will Travel is one of the better Transcend cards, so it's probably not worth it. Even if we are giving them an extra card in hand. But yeah, maybe it is right to like a Kakara there and just strip card out of hand at that point. I'm not entirely sure. But Arsenal Path Will Travel, it's not terrible. Especially if we like draw a drop. So I think we're in a pretty good spot still. We got a lot of life to work with. They got a 5-card hand, but our 5-card hand is very, very good. Almost to the point where I think it might just be better than whatever they got going on over there. All right, starting with Harmony Hunt. So worst case scenario is like Transcend here, but still not that bad because they lost Kasaya. All right, they do have Transcend. That's fine though. So they do 1, 2, 2. Can't really chase super efficiently. They have 1 chase left in the deck. Right, opponent's gonna restart the turn here. All right, so starting off with a Harmony Hunt, sure. All right, then they're gonna stir on the Harmony Hunt, so maybe trying to do a chase tail line here. Oh, they're gonna do a Sacred Art. Kind of okay with that still. All right, levels is a little bit less okay. So the question I get, so they have 3 tigers in hand at this point, and then they have 1 unknown card, and they're drawing a card. Interesting. So probably getting a chase, I have to imagine. All right, they're grabbing a chase, coming up levels, so they have 3 tigers in hand, 2 unknown cards, and chase the tail. So I think we will just go ahead and use Kasaya here. It's probably getting at least like 8 to 9 value, and then if we need to block out, we can also do that. I think that we might lose a little bit of tempo here, but I think that's maybe okay in the face of a big kind of chase tilt turn. So they are also at 1, so like I think that the way we don't lose this game is by just kind of blocking here. So I think I'm kind of fine with this. All right, so let's go ahead and path plus drop. It already has go again, so it doesn't really matter, right? Gain a resource, do that. All right, let damage resolve, and then crack Kasaya. So notably, I think someone told me one time, but you don't actually have to close the chain to get rid of Kasaya because your opponent basically always has priority to respond to you closing the chain, is what I've heard. I haven't checked back on that in a while though, so that could be wrong. But that's at least how I understand it, is that even if you like, if your opponent tries to close the chain, you still get priority to crack Kasaya. But we're soaking up a decent amount of damage here. Let's go ahead. What do we want to get? Just block here. Kind of okay with just blocking out this turn. Taking a little bit of an off turn here to just set up. They also don't have Shuko, so we're getting like full value basically. Right, Tiger for one. Don't care. All right, I guess the question is, do we want to just send like a swipe at them? Do we have a swipe actually? So we could send a swipe at them if we really wanted to. That's 5 damage, or we could send 2 and 5. I feel like I'd rather just Arsenal levels. Especially with how much cheese in our deck, like I think it's probably reasonable. We give them a 3-card hand, but they also still have to fight through his end state, and we're at 13, so like we're pretty safe here. I think I'm just trying not to like get to the point where I lose, basically. I think the way like we lose is if we like over attack and like don't set up an arsenal, and then we like maybe stumble on reacts or something, because I think we still do have like a decent number of reacts still in the deck. Still also have Shuko up, which is pretty powerful, especially at this point in the game. Okay, very, very solid hand. So it looks like we get to follow up with our own little Sacred Art here. All right, 2-1-5 sounds good to me. Or 1-1-0-4 rather. I'm fine with 1-0-4. Right, it's a good game. All right, lead off on Kakari here, but they're basically dead. We get all 3 modes on levels with our own Sacred Art, so at least we get to show them who's boss here, right? All right, go ahead, levels, Sacred Art, do all the things. It should probably get there, yeah. Seems like it. So they had a Crouching Tiger in Arsenal. That might have been from last turn. I haven't been keeping track, but then 100 Winds, Wax Off. Let's see what kind of reacts they were actually running in deck. So seems like we had the Wax, the Shelter, no Sync Blows, and no Flicks. Okay, so this is why I think the Flicks and the Syncs are a little bit better, just because you get to dig towards your Transcend cards. You get Fixing, which is really good. And then, like, the Flicks just really solid blocking card in this matchup, just being able to like block 4 on its own, which is really good. I think it's a lot better than trying to like go for a lineup on, wax off, especially when you're only running like 3 wax on, 3 wax off. I think if you're on like the yellow waxes, it maybe is closer, but if you're only doing 3 and 3, it seems like you might have a pretty difficult time lining it up. All right, let's see if we can get one more. All right, so we've got another Cindra here. Let's go ahead and pull out the Cindra board. So let's grab our reacts. I think that's pretty much everything. All right, give them a good luck, have fun, and let's get into it. All right, so weaker opening hands, but at least we get to Arsenal React here, which can help dig us towards Transcend, so it's not terrible. Still think I'd rather go second in this matchup, but going first and not having to eat a ton of damage does sometimes feel kind of okay either way. All right, seems like they're able to full block here, which is pretty good for them, but we at least get max filtering. That is a lot of transcend cards. That's potentially okay. Where's our Cosmic when I need it, right? Alright, let's go ahead and just see no blocks on the Ronin. I think we're trying to block out Chain Links 2 and 3 on this hand. Maybe kind of depends a little bit on what they do. But I think it's probably fine to just go for the Tiger Form block here. Alright, I'm maybe also looking to try to get rid of one of their kunai, because it does kind of limit their options a bit. Alright, Dragonfire is a pretty good finisher here. So they're dealing 2 damage off of it. Which also means they... Do they get a Mass Draw here? No, because it's not hitting, right? It's just dealing 2 damage. So I guess we have to now pop Pouncing Paws here. Sure. I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and sink here. So now that they've done this in response to the sink, that's actually really good for us. So the weird part is we would give them go again, but maybe that's fine if we're blocking out Mask anyways. So let's go ahead and give it go again and then pass over their kunai. Seems like a pretty decent use of our 3 transcend cards here. Giving this go again is a little bit awkward, but like it's pretty unlikely that they're able to really punish us. Like Snatch is like the worst punish here. And then it seems like they're just going to probably Arsenal. So kind of happy with that exchange. So we have the option here to either pop Pouncing Paws and get Chase the Tail, or we can just send Mauling. I feel like I'm just going to send Mauling. Feels like it's just a little bit safer. But am happy to see a kunai go, although like a lot of the red line Cindra decks can kind of operate off 1 kunai just about as well as 2, so it's kind of not super high value. Right, 9 damage on the board, Transcend card and Arsenal. Things are looking pretty good. We also have another Transcend card. That could mean Zen State. That could mean Zen State. It'd be like a pretty decent Zen State too. I guess the question is like, is there anything else we want to be doing with our turn? Maybe, but it seems like it's good value here at least. Especially on a 5-card hand. So let's say pass on this. So you get the first hit, and then we'll double transcend. What are we preserving? Just preserve like a Pouncing Key back is probably fine. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. All right, gain a resource. Gain a resource. And then we'll go ahead and pop Kasaya here. So we can still do a chase aspect on our turn, Arsenal Breed, or we can block with Breed. Both seem to be decent options. All right, they're going to go for the Blaze Headlong. So we might as well just block with Breed. No, we don't actually need to block with Breed now. We can block on the next thing, and it's probably just about as good. Mainly because I don't want to give them like the opportunity to redo Mask Momentum with 3 Chain Links. Like if we block now, then they don't have the opportunity to do it this turn, pretty much. I'd say Rising, and then shouldn't have anything else here. All right, they're going to go ahead and pass back. So the question here is, do we want to go for like a Mauling Key and force them to play through the next hand, or do we want to send Chase the Tail? I feel like if we send Chase the Tail, we're actually kind of setting ourselves up for failure, maybe. So I feel like I'm just supposed to get Mauling. Because I don't want to like give them an excuse to block. Like if ideally I want them to be playing through the Sun State as opposed to blocking out just like a chase. And like if we did play the chase, we wouldn't get to keep an Arsenal here, which I think is pretty important if you're using Zen State. All right, but we pretty much bought back a lot of tempo here. Okay, Brand with Cinder Claw is fine. Right, Hard Dragon Blood, a little bit scary, but still not the end of the world. They also don't have access to really blood splattered at all this turn, which is, I think, pretty good for us. All right, so let's go ahead and use Traverse on this chain link, and then we can always sink below if they have a 1 cost here, which would save our arsenal. All right, Run and Renegade is fine, right? Because Mask is reset. All right, and nothing to follow up. So now we get full tempo, which is really good. So what do we want to get here? We get another 1 cost, or we can just get Aspect. I think it's probably safer to just go for Aspect, right? Yeah, it's probably just safer to go for Aspect, because I don't really want to pop Pouncing Claws if I don't have to. So let's grab that Aspect, do our chase line, finish on Pouncing Key, and then we can Mauling for no value, but we get the 5 value. The value that matters more, I guess. But this definitely puts us pretty far ahead in terms of tempo, because I think we get them down to like sub 10, which is pretty good. Get them down to effectively 6 or effectively 5 if they don't block this. I am down with that, and we also have the sink below for insurance, so we should be in a really good spot this game. I think the Zen state was like a little bit suspect, but it seemed like honestly pretty good, just because like it felt like it bought us a lot of time. But yeah, things are going pretty well this game. We also banished a dagger for what that's worth, but like banishing a dagger is normally not like all that big a deal. All right, if they're forced to attack with Kunai here, they're probably in a pretty rough spot. Although they could just like get some blood splatter resources and probably be fine. So probably setting up for 1 cost here, which is I think okay with us. All right, so we want to block the Ravenous Rabble here, I think. Yeah, I think we do. Pass there. And then do we want to sink anything? No instance. Let's not see the E-Strike. Feel like the sink is maybe Breed, but I'm not fully confident on that. So now we can do Flick plus drop. All right, they're going to finish with a Hunt the Hunter. So that'll mark us. I think we still do want to kind of deny the card draw here. So maybe you have Shuko plus this, and then we Arsenal drop. That seems kind of reasonable. Right, they do get to rebuy Kunai, but that's okay. So now we should be at least threatening a card from their hand or an armor piece here. Or I think it takes 2 armor pieces here, right? So their engine is basically falling apart at this point just because we've pressured them enough. Because if we can take a card out of their hand, that also kind of chips into their engine, or if we take armor, that obviously kind of shuts that down as well. All right, Arsenal drop. Good hand. It's like an okay hand. Not incredible, but decent. Right, they'll grab their extra fealty. Pitching a breaking point maybe signifies that their hand is a bit awkward. We also aren't obligated to block anymore because of mask momentum, so we can kind of just relax here. We can flick this if we want to, but I don't think it matters. I mean, they could already flick it, right? So no blocks. All right, another Burning Blade Dance, Rebuying Dagger. Still don't think we care. I think we're just gonna try to kill him with Sacred Art next turn. So no way we die here. And then let's go ahead. How do we want to do this? I guess we can start with pouncing pods. And then this needs to be pitch. We pitch this to chase the tail. I don't know if this is the best sequencing here, but it's probably fine. Let's go ahead and drop plus Sacred Art. Get a bunch of resources. Pass. Yeah, I don't know if this is right. This is probably wrong, actually. Because now we're stuck with like 2 reacts in hand. I thought we wouldn't have 1 floating, but I think I'm just kind of getting a little bit late into the recording session here. All right, so I guess we'll send in the Tigers first. Don't have Shuko anymore, which is also kind of awkward. Do we still have Key Unleashed? That honestly might be the target just to filter here. It seems like it's probably not going to matter too much. Yeah. Okay, so it seems like we got there. Again, that's kind of how a lot of my Cindra games go. It's normally like a 5 to 6 turn game where if I see Transcend pretty early, it's almost like I just have too many resources for them to deal with. But yeah, in general, I've not had a ton of kind of struggle in this matchup. It seems like they are more redline Cindra, so this is kind of like the Brody list, I think. Yeah, it's a pretty good list, but I feel like I don't know. I at least feel like my Zen list has kind of adapted to it where I feel like almost like 90-10 in this matchup. Like something has to kind of go horribly wrong for me to feel like I lose this matchup or I just like low roll and don't see transcend cards. But even if I get like high rolled on turn 1, it still feels pretty favored. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap it up there for today. So thank you all for watching. Again, no new changes to the Zen list. We're still kind of trying to test some things. The weakest links are probably on the chopping block, and then I think the wins also like I think the cards that are immediately on the chopping block for me, or like not super immediately, but the cards that are in consideration for the chopping block are like the weakest link, the winds of eternity, and then also maybe the burdens. Like the burdens hasn't really done a ton, but it's also like a funny meme card, so I kind of want to leave it in there. But yeah, I think that's gonna probably wrap it up for today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.